Hi, my name is Dominique and I'm going to be reciting my daily poem. So before we get into that, I just want to go over a couple things, or I wouldn't say go over, but just chit chat. I know the holidays just have been really busy and crazy, but for some reason I don't know if it's the cold weather or just the family events or holidays, maybe it's a little bit of everything, but I always find myself just kind of thinking about a lot of things. And lately, I'm sure it's on everyone's mind is, how do I want to start off the new year? What are my intentions? I know Thanksgiving just passed, so kind of like just sitting on what you have and, being grateful for those small things and big things, and just being able to hope, I feel like, is really awesome. And yeah, it's just, I don't know, I feel like every day I just really thinking about a lot of things. With that being said, I am reading a poem from someone really well known. I read one of her books a year ago or 2 years ago. It is by Patti Smith. The title of it is called Seventh Heaven, and let's get started. O Raphael, guardian angel, in love and crime, all things move in sevens. 7 compartments in the heart, the 7 elaborate temptations, 7 devils cast from Mary Magdalene, whore of Christ, the 7 marvelous voyages of Sinbad, in the number 7 branded forever on the forehead of Cain, the first inspired man, the father of desire and murder, but his was not the first ecstasy. Consider his mother. Eve's was the crime of curiosity. As the saying goes, it killed the pussy. One bad apple spoiled the whole shot, but be sure it was no apple. An apple looks like an ass. It's fags fruit. It must have been a tomato, or better yet, a mango. She bit. We must blame her, abuse her. Poor sweet bitch. Perhaps there's more to the story. Think of Satan as some stud. Maybe her knees were open. Satan snakes between them. They open wider, snakes up her thighs, rubs against her for a while. More than the tree of knowledge was about to be eaten. She shudders her first shudder. Pleasure, pleasure, garden. Was she sorry? Are we ever girls? Was she a good lay? God only knows. So this is the first time that I am reading it. I don't know if that language is allowed or if YouTube will say anything, so just want to put it out there. But that's funny. I saw the title and I was drawn to it, Seventh Heaven. When I think of heaven, I think of, all the best things, all the greatest things that you could ever want out of life. Everyone's heaven looks different, and I think that's what makes it so kind of untouchable in a way. Anyways, it is Sunday and I do go to church. My relationship with religion is interesting, but as of right now, I've been going to a non-denomination Christian church, and I go every so often. Way back, I was going a little bit more and just trying to figure things out and just sit and really just listen. And at first, I was kind of, hesitant, as anyone is, especially if you have like traumatic religious stories or just growing up. I've just always had like an interesting relationship with God and all of that stuff, and I do find myself being spiritual, but I did not go to church today. I go with a really good friend of mine, and I did not reach out just because I just needed a break. I do watch it, they post it online and stuff, and I'll tune in and listen while I clean, but it's funny how this mentions, different stories from the Bible, which I have not read. I know a lot of the popular stories and, different things here and there, but as far as like really diving into it, I haven't. And it's funny, when she mentions Eve here and kind of it's kind of like that saying, you know, curiosity killed the cat. And it's crazy because I mean, I try to find connections with everything that I kind of encounter. So obviously with Eve, I feel like I can connect with her because I myself am a very curious person, and luckily I haven't gotten into any of too bad situations because of my curiosity. But again, that's not true for everyone. So I feel like it's super, you know, obviously we know the story with Adam and Eve and the apple, and she kind of talks about that, and just women in general. From my knowledge from when I read Just Kids by Patti Smith, she's such a very just like carefree person that just wants to do something so much bigger than herself. And she did a lot of things. I mean, I feel like she's the embodiment of what art is, you know, especially being alive in such a transformative time. So reading this and stuff, and really just like, it's such a short poem, but I feel like there's so much depth in it, and it can go into tangents and things. And I think that's why I really appreciate poetry, is because, you know, you read it one time and you can just whatever, but for someone that's truly like educated and knows so much about a topic, there's probably lots of things in here that I don't fully understand, and that's okay. And as time goes on and I become wiser and learn more things, I feel like eventually it'll come back to me, and then it'll be a full circle moment. And I love those moments. I love when I'm sitting there and I just have like an epiphany because I'm talking to someone about a subject that I didn't know, and now something I read, you know, 2 years ago makes sense. Or it made sense to me before, but now it makes sense in a different way. And this really kind of shows that for me, and it makes me want to, you know, learn more about the Bible or what this means or who these people are, and kind of get some background knowledge, even though, you know, I may not find myself completely religious or that, but just being able to understand what she's saying and break it down is something in itself. So yeah, like I said, with all the pondering, I came across the book and I was like, you know what, I know Patti Smith has poems, and she does. She has quite a few actually. So that's really awesome that I'm able to kind of just like learn more about these authors and these people and their lives, because everyone has a very interesting life. Everyone has a very individualistic life, but I feel like, again, being able to capture that in different ways is awesome. So yeah, that's today's poem. I am gonna have to be leaving soon. I'm going to a holiday party with my acting peers, so I'm really excited. It's a good way to like wrap up the year because we won't have any classes all of December, so I'm super excited to have some extra time to kind of put into this and other acting things, and not so much on class, because sometimes it's so mentally draining. I feel like I'm just always working or working out or doing acting or hanging out with friends, trying to catch up with family, and it can get overwhelming trying to have time with myself, because sometimes I just want to just lay there and do nothing, and that's awesome, but then I can't help but to think about, you know, reading or learning or just things that I enjoy. So yeah, that's about it for today. Hope y'all have a good evening and take care. Happy December.